I tried vaping for the first time, lads, and I absolutely loved it.
Okay.
I was at a wedding there a couple of days ago up in Belfast. I got separated from the wedding and I ended up going down to the train station. There was a couple of boys hanging around. It was almost like a clay pipe made out of glass with these little vape crystals in it on you. And we lit it up and there's a lovely fun kind of popping, cracking noise out of it. And I found it very relaxing. I ended up not going back to the wedding. I stayed with the lads for several days.
Yeah.
I'm only actually back because my brother dragged me out of that flat. But I'm going to do it every day.
Hello and welcome to Talking Out, the improvised comedy talk show where a panel of dysfunctional media personalities dissect the week's news. My name is Dave Coffey. I'm joined in studio by former pop singer turned activist Trina McFarrater.
That's me.
Independent TD Shawnee Sutcliffe.
What about you?
Social media influencer Sarah O'Crilly.
Guilty.
And shock newspaper journalist Brian Kilbird.
I'm feeling sad.
Okay, what's wrong, Brian?
Just a general feeling that I have going, just in general. Just sad all the time. Do you ever get that? When you're just kind of blue?
Yeah, but just trying to get on with the show. Though.
I call it, I have a case of the Brezzies.
This past week saw the end of an era as Taoiseach Leo Varadkar handed in his resignation to President Michael D. Higgins. Shawnee, you've been in the Dáil with Leo week in, week out, when you weren't busy with your funeral home and your farm and all that. What's your impression of the man?
Well, he sort of sounds a little bit like a robot.
That's a good impression.
That's a brilliant impression,
Very
Shawnee.
good.
There's no...
Crawdaddy,
yourself, Shawn.
what are we going to do now that Bernard Shaw's closed down? I think he's a perfect combo of a politician, really, for a modern Ireland. He's half Indian, he's half gay, he's got the face of a boy, but the hairline of an old man, but the hair of a baby. If you look at Leo Varadkar's hair, and I've touched his hair, he's got incredibly soft hair. I don't know if you've ever seen a baby come out of a woman.
Yes.
But the ones lucky enough to start off with hair have incredibly soft hair. And it's exactly like Leo Varadkar's hair. He's got baby hair.
Like
Dave.
velvet.
No.
Brian, there was a moment in the Dáil when Green Party leader Eamon Ryan almost became Taoiseach by accident because no one called for a vote on his nomination. Wouldn't that have been a fortunate accident and a great thing for the country?
It would, and I'll tell you why, Dave. Because he would have released wolves back in. Eamon Ryan is mad for wolves. He wants to release wolves back in Ireland. And I, for one, as a red-blooded, hetero male, if the police won't kick in the door and drag me away kicking and screaming
For saying
being a
that?
cis male who tells it like it is, who likes his steaks rare and his pints
Cold?
wet. and his women with a bit of,
Okay.
Let's
So
He,
what,
likes
you're-
it. He wants his pints wet and his women cold.
What do you think? I'm opening this up to everyone. Do you think we'll see a grand coalition in the next couple of weeks?
But wouldn't that be lovely?
Do you think?
Oh, it'd be like finally a new ending to Romeo and Juliet. Two opposing families finally together and in love. No suicide necessary.
Except
And
for
then,
the
of course,
people who's
something bad had
affected
happened.
by their policies.
But no, I think it's great. I think it's brilliant, and it's great that all these men can just explore each other in the Arctis. And I think that it's court, Arctis,
You're just saying
House of
words.
Lords.
I think we should ask the Pope what to do.
Why would we ask the Pope what to do?
We used to back in the day, I assume.
When in times of confusion, ask the Pope.
Turn to the big man, Papa.
He'd go for Renua.
He's a snowflake Pope.
He's a bit of a
Yes.
mad one, isn't he? He's a
I'd
bit of a
say
mad Pope.
He is big
People
mad
before
Pope.
profit, he'd go for. That's
He
how
might.
mad he is.
Yeah.
Popal before profit. More like,
Very good, Brian.
can I do that again,
That's a
Dave? Can I go
headline.
again?
Sure.
Papa before profit.
Popal was better.
I think Popal was
I
better.
like Popal.
Popal
Yeah.
was far better.
Okay, can I do it again?
Sure, one more time.
Popal before profit.
Well, we already
Why
have
did
that.
you-
Now
I
you
thought
just
were
did it
gonna-
with
You
an
actually-
A in it.
Yeah, you actually did a word.
Yeah.
Do it in like an Italian accent.
Oh, that'd be good,
Don't.
yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
like that.
No, go on.
Papa before profit.
According to new research, people in Dublin have the 5th longest commuting time in the European Union. Shawnee, you must have a long commute to the Dáil. How do you get to Dublin?
It's a series of lifts I get from people who owe me favours. In the 60s and 70s, it used to take us several hours to get to Dublin, maybe 4 or 5. Now you'd be stopping for pints
Yeah.
in nearly every pub that you drove past. I miss the 70s, where days where goalies could smoke, children would run car parks,
Yeah.
chubbier priests.
Chubbier priests. Why were they chubbier?
Priests used to get dinner in nearly every house they went into. And I think that's a great thing. I think the Catholic Church is turning around. And we should get behind them, rather than them being behind us. I'm making a small joke, but this point is serious.
Okay, we're going to take some calls from the public on this topic. Alan is on the line. Alan, you're fed up with your commute on the Lewis every day, is that right?
Yeah, Dave, I'm on for nearly half of me day.
Half your day?
Half of me day on the Lewis.
Where do you work, Alan?
I work in Stevens Green Shopping Centre.
And what do you do there, Alan?
Mind your business. I don't ask you what you do for a job.
Oh, no, fair
Mr.
enough.
Davis.
Where are you coming from then that you're going to Stevens Green Shopping Centre?
I live in Dundrum.
You live in Dundrum. Okay, so that should
Not
only...
the shopping centre.
Not Dundrum Shopping Centre, no.
No, I live in a house.
Of course. So you live in Dundrum, but that Lewis ride should only take, I'd say, about 25 minutes at a stretch.
Yeah, but I stay on it for a while. I keep forgetting to get off where I am.
Oh, you forget to get off when you
keep
get to
going.
Stevens Green, so
Yeah.
then you're going back and forwards.
Back and forth. Oh, up and down.
Yeah. So I suppose maybe you could figure out some way to not forget. Have someone remind you maybe when you get there.
I ask people all the time, it's like, here, will you put a ticket and tell me when we're at Stevens Green Shopping Centre? And they never do.
Why do you think that is, on?
I don't know. It's probably because of me knife.
You have a
I
knife.
just be holding me knife.
You hold a knife on the Lewis.
Yeah, why wouldn't what way do you think I do it? It's not on a blind dart. I just said it was the Lewis, Dave. Open your ears.
Why do you have a knife in your hand?
It's for me job, Dave.
What's your job?
Who's that?
Sorry, this is Shawnee. How are you doing?
Who are you?
I'm the other guest on the programme.
Oh,
Yeah, we have
what program's that?
The one you rang into, yet Dave cut this lad off.
We're going to go to the newspapers there. I think if you each want to grab your newspaper and just we'll
This
go.
show's getting lazier and lazier. We're just going to be reading articles that other people have written.
Brendan O'Connor does it.
That's true. That gobshite.
Sarah, going to come to you. What was your story from the paper?
So my story is that Tayto have new crisps out and they're disgusting apparently. So
The big issues from Sarah.
Oh, there
so-
she is now, yeah.
Well, you'll
Bloody
be interested when you hear because it is actually quite interesting.
Mike
Is that-
Wallace over here.
And this is their review.
Is this
so
a newspaper for kids?
no, it's a real newspaper.
Did you get a free Dan bar with
He
this?
says these are
paper.
not bad crisps. In fact, they are quite tasty and have that come back for more attraction about them. They're
It sounds like
only-
you're reading a Zig and Zag annual.
Well, I'm not. They're only slightly removed from cheese and onion with a distant threat of salt and vinegar. So it's like when something's a little bit disgusting, but you kind
Do
of
you
like
know what's
it.
interesting about that quote?
What?
No one would ever say something like that.
But
It's-
he did.
No, nobody
He
said
did.
that.
This
Nobody
man
said
here
a distant
said
threat
that.
of.
He did.
This is how people write things.
Now,
It's
and then
not
there's,
how they
then
say
there's
them.
another man who sounds quite like Brian. He says, "Where will it end? Turkey and Brussels sprouts."
Boris Johnson's government is to close its borders to unskilled workers and those who can't speak English, ending the era of cheap EU labour in factories, warehouses, hotels, restaurants.
Sometimes if you're feeling low and you're feeling a bit depressed or useless in the world, you hire somebody who, doesn't speak great English and you abuse them. What I do is I give them a challenge. I say, there's something wrong with this house and you have 12 hours to find out what it is or I'm firing you. 11 hours, 54 minutes into it. Fair play to him, he found out. Guess what it was?
Easter egg.
No, I put a slice of Billy roll into the DVD player.
It's kind of like an
He's a keeper.
escape room almost.
Little
It
bit.
is.
I wouldn't
Are
let
they
him
locked
leave.
in while it happens?
Well, I stand by the door with a gun.
In sort of related news, comedian Steve Coogan has said his Irish passport is in the post. Brian, do you think we can expect an influx of British celebrities to Ireland after Brexit?
I hope so. That'd be brilliant.
Why?
What? Because they're better than the celebrities we have over here, if you don't mind me saying, Dave.
Yeah, that's
Who
true.
do we have here? Name one Irish celebrity.
We've loads.
Yeah, but are they any use?
Yes.
Red
We've
Hurley.
Trina.
Brian Ormond,
All right, they're good. All three of them are good.
Patrick Frayne.
Who?